My name is Karzan, and I live in liquid mountains in the sky. Behind me and before me is God, and I have no fears. I'm a Buddhist monk, a Lama, which means a teacher who embodies the weighty Dharma. I have lived in the Komik Monastery for the past 30 years. I came here when I was 6, and this has been my spiritual home ever since. Like all senior lamas, I have 2 young monks under my guardianship. We take care of them till they're old enough to look after themselves. But our relationship is more of a teacher and disciple rather than a father and son. From the beginning, we are trained to move away from attachment, and these young boys too have to learn this from an early age. People are often drawn to Buddhism because they have read wonderful stories about lamas who have mastered levitation, conscious dying, astral travel, lucid dreaming, and clairvoyance. However, that's not what it's finally about. Our lives are simpler than most people can imagine, and far more simple than most people can believe. This monastery was built over 900 years ago. There are 5 treasures that we have here that make our monastery unique. Firstly, we have the tail of a human, the ribcage of a giant demon, a dragon's egg, dragons, creatures that live in the skies. We have the horn of a horse. I'm sure you've never seen the horn of a horse. And the upper tooth of a sheep. They generally never get an upper tooth. All this is lying in the old temple hall of the monastery. Every morning, the young monks are given prayer training. Here, they learn how to recite prayers, participate in religious ceremonies, and play instruments needed at the time of prayer. We consider the spiritual teacher to be more important than the Buddha, because although you can't meet the Buddha, you can find him in your Guru, who is the living personification of enlightenment. As Buddhists, our main philosophy is to never hurt or harm any living being and to live a life devoid of any sins. Like right now, there are clouds in the sky that are blocking the sunlight. But once the clouds dissipate, the sun will shine brightly and the sky will be clear. Similarly, if we overcome our feelings of anger, jealousy, vindictiveness, and the urge to sin, our hearts will become clear like the sunny sky. We believe that our soul is reborn thousands of times. If we perform good deeds in this life, in our next birth, we will get a better life than this one. In this way, through various life cycles, our soul will keep evolving and becoming better. Our hearts will become clear like a bright, luminous day. We will no longer be suspicious of people, and no matter what anybody says to us, we will not get angry. At noon, we get a short food break, after which the children are sent to attend their classes. I help out in the kitchen with making tea and cooking, and that, like all the other work in the monastery, is something we all do in rotation. Food for us is more of a necessity, not an indulgence. As hardly anything grows at this altitude, vegetables are transported all the way up from the plains in the summer, and we can barely afford them. Almost all our meals comprise sattu, which is a mix of wheat and gram. It can be stored for long and is really filling, and is what we carry with us when we go for long excursions or to meditate in caves. We drink a lot of tea, both the sweet milky type and salty butter tea. In the winter, temperatures dip to minus 30 degrees Celsius, and there are cold winds all year round, so we need something to keep us warm. With that, we eat some bread and pickle. Every family sends one child to become a monk. If there are 3 children, the eldest gets the property. The youngest is educated so that he finds a job. And the middle one is sent to the monastery with the parents' blessings. The first 10 years of education are compulsory for everyone. One must study for 20 years in order to become a Kempu, which is someone who is qualified to pass on the Buddha's teachings to the others. All monks have to study hard, learn the scriptures and teachings of Buddha, and cultivate a spirit of reasoning. Some lamas are also given special skills training according to their aptitude. The young monks have a lot to learn, so they have to dedicate most of their time to their training. The children are encouraged to study independently, even after their lessons are over. This way, their thirst to learn does not remain confined to a classroom. Some children come to the monastery at a later age and need to learn the basics, So we arrange additional lessons for them that are given by the village teacher.
तो हमारे बहुत ट्रेनिंग करना पड़ता है पहले तो जैसे
Some of the highly learned and senior lamas get special training in what we call Kung Fu. It's something like martial arts. It improves concentration abilities, and these people master the art of meditation and levitation. They can sit like this and even rise as much as 3 to 4 floors of a building. Also, if they wear wet clothes, they can dry them by raising their body temperatures. And some of them rise above the ground as though they have wings. All this is something people can achieve after great practice and dedication. But the miracle of Buddhism is love, not levitation. The goal is enlightenment, and its beauty lies in finding the path to enlightened living. Children remember their previous lives till the age of 3, and some of them clearly point out places from their previous births. We have a Lama here who remembered his previous life when he was young. In his past life, he was a gambler, and so in this life, even at the age of 3, he would keep rolling imaginary dice. Also in his earlier life, he was a heavy smoker, so he would keep picking up small stubs from the ground and put them behind his ear, like he did with his cigarettes in his previous birth. And then he used to carry on with his imaginary gambling. In the early afternoon, before heading off to the main temple for prayers, I make it a point to spend a little time tending to the plants in our greenhouse. Very few things grow here, and those that do need all the special care and nurturing to survive.
हमने सिर्फ ये करना है कि भगवान जैसे हम
We pray for people's happiness and well-being, and in return, they often donate money, food, or some other provisions to the monastery. We somehow juggle with these in order to manage our sustenance and meet our daily needs. But funds are very scarce. As lamas, we are greatly respected by the villagers. They listen to what we tell them, take our advice, and think very highly of us. They trust us as we have given up all material pursuits and physical attachments and have vowed not to lie or sin. The villagers, on the other hand, have a tougher life. They have to fight over material possessions. But as lamas, we are free from all that. Our minds are at total peace. Later in the afternoon, we go to the main prayer room where all the lamas gather together to perform their prayers. This session lasts for up to 4 hours. In the evening, before retiring to our chambers, most of the lamas play outdoors for some time, as this is the only free time everyone gets together. We all head back to our respective rooms before dark, where we say our individual prayers. Each of us cooks our own dinner in our room itself. Sometimes, a fellow lama joins the children and me for dinner. We spend some time together, and our day ends latest by 8 p.m. Before sleeping, we thank the Awakened One for his guidance and blessings in helping us awaken the Buddha within us. Just like the summit of Mount Everest evolved from the ocean floor, awakening evolves from spiritual practice. What we seek is what we are. Life is a journey, and we don't always pick the people with whom we travel that journey. The path always begins beneath our feet, with the first step we take. Where we stand right now is where our journey begins.